Okay, so you can go to the podium. Right. Oh, yeah.
I don't need all this attention. I didn't sign up for this. Did I sign up for this? Excellent.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Before we begin, just a reminder to media on the phone that they may now press *1 or at any time to line up for questions. The question and answer portion will take place after the speeches, and you will have one question and one follow-up. I will now invite AMSSA Board President Garrison Duke to give his initial remarks.
Thank you so much. And it's a fine day for an announcement, a funding announcement, and we're so excited about that. I'm Garrison Duke, AMSSA Board President and Chief Operating Officer at Diversity Community Resource Society in Surrey. To commence the press conference, I would like to acknowledge the traditional Indigenous territories which AMSSA's offices are located. We express our gratitude and recognize the privilege of settlers, emphasizing that the land is situated on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. It is with deep respect and with acknowledgement that we look at their enduring presence and contributions to these communities. So, on behalf of AMSSA, I'd like to welcome and thank the organizing team and extend a warm welcome to our esteemed government officials, members of the media, members and partners and colleagues and that are attending today. Your presence and support is truly appreciated. So, to my right is the Honorable Minister of Municipal Affairs of British Columbia, and Kang, and Katie Crocker, AMSSA CEO, and Laura Cameron is somewhere around, and she is the BC CIS Senior Program Advisor. The press conference will be 60 minutes, and we'll have a 20-minute Q&A, and we'll try and hold the questions to a reasonable amount. And right now, I would like to invite Minister Kang to the podium for this exciting announcement.
Well, hello, good morning, everyone. I see so many familiar faces, so many friends in the audience today. My name is Ann Kang, and I'm the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Immigration. I like to really emphasize the immigration part because that's why we're here today. We're here to support immigrant and settlement services. I also like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations, the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. And it is absolutely exciting to be here today, not only to see so many familiar faces and friends, but also to be giving this announcement. I also like to thank Katie Crocker for allowing us to use the space here and for bringing all of us together, and also colleagues, staff, and volunteers of the AMSSA, Affiliation of Multicultural Societies and Services Agencies of BC. And a special welcome to our two validators who are current BC CIS clients, who will be sharing their special stories with us and allowing us to see how our improved and enhanced services will be supporting them. They are also refugee claimants and are now applying for permanent residency. The experience, the skills, and the unique perspective of migrants bring our province to an enriched and vibrant, beautiful British Columbia. It is our responsibility to ensure that they have access to the necessary support and resources to help them succeed. That is why today, I'm excited to announce the historic investment into settlement and integration services. This investment will be more than 4 times the funding of the provincial settlement services, from $6 million annually to an approximately $26 million per year. And this funding will help over 30 nonprofit organizations and service providers throughout the province to provide resources for finding employment, to language learning, and connecting with others in their community. Many of you are already familiar with the organizations that support the transition to life in BC and know firsthand the important role that they play. And I do want to recognize those who are here with us today, South Vancouver Neighborhood House, ISS BC, VAST BC, Diversity, Success, Mosaic, but also recognize those around the provinces. Now, I can't give an inclusive and exhaustive list, but including Kitimat Community Services Society to the Kamloops Immigration Society. There's many of us across the province, more than 30 of us, and I want to thank you so much for all the work you do to support immigrants, newcomers with their settlement, and helping them to become successful in our community. These organizations provide services to support newcomers by providing valuable advice and the resources to find meaningful employment, access to education and healthcare, and to contribute to the social fabric of their new community. And this includes services to help with finding employment, understanding their rights, accessing government programs, practicing English, and connecting with others in their community. Our government's investment will not only improve capacity for those providers, but also enhance supports and services currently in place. Last year, settlement services helped more than 26,000 newcomers to British Columbia. And with today's announcement, the new and expanded settlement program is expected to serve more than 40,000 clients per year. This will improve workforce readiness for newcomers, expand outreach and build capacity in settlement service systems, and support poverty reduction and homelessness prevention. As an immigrant myself, I understand the challenges that come with moving to a new country. Though I was quite young when I arrived, I remember struggling to adjust to a new culture. Arriving here in grade 1, going to school, and being invited to sit on the floor in a circle, which was something that I never did back in my country, and that I was asked to be creative and to write stories that were make-believe. That was never available where I went to school, because everything that I learned was rote, and to be creative was something that was new. We went lunch to a different room that was called the lunchroom or the cafeteria, and we had no homework. Now, all of these things I'm sharing are these amazing and wonderful memories of my childhood. But to reflect on my parents, the heroes who brought me to this new country, I could only imagine the struggles they had. Not knowing the language, not having friends, having a new environment, and no job. My dad came over as an international student, and lo and behold, in the past 2 years, I was the Minister of Advanced Education and Skills Training and supporting international students to be successful and finding a journey to become part of our society. And I was very passionate in doing that. And now in the role as Minister for Municipal Affairs and Immigration, I am equally passionate to make sure that our newcomers have the services that we had when we came here, and that they can be successful and that they can be part of our community. I am so grateful for the opportunities that BC has provided me, and I am committed to ensuring that other newcomers have access to the support and resources that will help them succeed. The benefits of supporting newcomers and refugees extend far beyond just the individuals themselves. It also helps build stronger, more diverse, and more vibrant communities. In short, supporting newcomers is not just the right thing to do, but it is the smart thing to do. This investment in settlement and integration is meaningful. It's a meaningful step towards creating a more inclusive and welcoming community for everyone here in our beautiful province. So let's work together. Let's work together to create a brighter future for those who want to call British Columbia and Canada their home. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Minister Kang. And this announcement definitely shows that you've been listening to the sector. And I want to tip my hat to the sector of the hard work we've put in. And obviously, it's a reflection, this funding announcement, of the work we've done and the very important work from our frontline individuals. It's just important. So thank you for this announcement. And I'd like to invite Katie Crocker, AMSSA CEO, for her remarks.
Thank you so much, Garrison, and thank you, Minister Kang. It's always so moving when you share your personal story, and so thank you for gifting us with your story this morning. My name is Katie Crocker. I'm the CEO of AMSSA. AMSSA is a province-wide association. We were established 45 years ago, and we strengthen over 80 member agencies as well as hundreds of community stakeholders who serve immigrants and newcomers to build culturally inclusive communities with knowledge, resources, and support they need to fulfill their own mandates. Our purpose is to co-create the conditions for success with our members to build better lives for immigrants and newcomers in British Columbia. The BC Settlement and Integration Services Program, or what we call BC-SIS, fulfills a vital role in supporting the social and economic integration of newcomers who are not eligible to receive immigrant services under federally funded programs, predominantly permanent residents. Many newcomers first come to BC as temporary residents before transitioning to permanent residence and eventually citizenship. Demand for services is high. In 2021, Canada welcomed more immigrants than any single other year in history, including temporary work permit and study permit holders, and many temporary residents who then went on to transition to temporary residence. Historically, BC-SIS has served over 20,000 newcomers per year in all regions of the province. And thank you, Minister, for recognizing all of our colleagues in the regions outside of Metro Vancouver who work so hard in this area. The client groups supported by BC-SIS are very wide-ranging. They include temporary workers, post-secondary international students, refugee claimants and asylum seekers, and provincial nominees awaiting permanent residence. Naturalized Canadian citizens are also eligible. And since May of 2022, temporary residents arriving under the Canadian-Ukraine Authorization for Emergency Travel, or QIT program, qualify too, and the need for services has grown. Newcomers from all immigration groups experience unique barriers and challenges to immigration. These can be overcome through supports in settlement, integration, immigration, employment, and language training for adults. And Minister Kang, you spoke about your parents' experience. There's a tangible benefit to newcomers because settlement services help them achieve positive settlement outcomes, which in turn benefits communities economically and socially. The BC-SIS program supports newcomers in many vital ways, and there's opportunity to do even more. The number of clients with demand for supports keeps growing, and it's vital that program funding keeps pace. Clients' needs increase during and post-COVID pandemic and due to humanitarian crises. Expanded funding will improve settlement organizations' capacity to address client needs and allow more holistic, wraparound supports through the different stages of the settlement journey. Expanded funding can address gaps in services and ensure equitable service provision for vulnerable clients. It can strengthen language skills training programs, increase the availability of job placement services, and improve mental health and wellness support. Augmenting the program will fully realize the benefits of BC-SIS services, particularly in rural and remote areas. It can enhance sector supports for service provider organizations through tools, training, resources, knowledge exchange, and collaborative initiatives. It can support engagement with Indigenous leaders and organizations to gain a deeper understanding of the role of settlement and integration in the decolonization practices of our province. Every day, service providers see complex and intersecting needs of their client groups and strive to deliver services that reflect those needs in a community context. Increased funding can facilitate greater coordination between settlement service providers and other organizations in their collective efforts and provide more comprehensive support to newcomers. This will lead to a stronger sense of community and better outcomes for newcomers as they settle and integrate in Canadian society. Immigration is essential to communities, to the province of BC, and to all of Canada. Welcoming newcomers and offering support during humanitarian crises is a fundamental core Canadian value. And indeed, we all benefit greatly. Immigration contributes to our communities and to our prosperity in so many ways, through diversity, culture, and new perspectives. It provides essential population growth and supports our economy through labor force growth with in-demand skills and international experience. However, we need to look beyond the imperative for population and labor force and consider the social capital. Effective settlement provides a sustainable foundation for immigrants to participate in the social, political, and cultural life of British Columbia more fully and benefit from sustainable employment. The strengthened BC-SIS program is fundamental in assisting immigrants and refugees in overcoming barriers and integrating fully into communities throughout BC. And we thank the province of BC and the Ministry of Municipal Affairs for their continued partnership in this work. Thank you.
Now for my favorite part of these types of events, let's hear the testimonies of a couple of BC-SIS clients. So we'll have the first one come up.
Hi, I Carla Lopez. Perdón. Nosotros llegamos en octubre del 2022 de México por una situación de riesgo y Canadá nos ha apoyado mucho desde entonces.
We arrived in Canada on October, fleeing violence and from Mexico, and we have been welcomed very warmly in Canada.
Después de salir de inmigración en Canadá, del aeropuerto de Canadá, una persona nos ayudó a poder contactar a Mosaic.
So when at the airport, in an information desk, somebody told us about Mosaic and gave us the phone number to Mosaic.
Nosotros fuimos y desde entonces Mosaic nos ha apoyado en todo.
Since then, Mosaic has been supporting us in every way.
Desde que llegamos, nosotros no teníamos dónde quedarnos, dónde dormir. Yo tengo mi familia, somos un bebé, un niño y mi esposo y yo.
We didn't have where to sleep, and she has a family of 4. It's mom, dad, a baby, and a small child.
Y Mosaic nos otorgó una casa de transición durante un tiempo para que nosotros nos pudiéramos ir adaptando.
So Mosaic supported us with a transitional house to be able to start our process in Canada.
Que contaba con todas las necesidades que nosotros teníamos que cubrir.
That cover all the bare necessities, right? Food, where to sleep, a safe place to be.
Y posteriormente también nos ayudó a comenzar con nuestro proceso para ser clamantes de refugio.
Also, Mosaic supported us in our refugee claim, all the process.
Nos ayudó a encontrar un abogado y posteriormente a comenzar con todo el proceso como lo teníamos que seguir, así como otorgar clases de inglés.
So Mosaic offered us help to find a lawyer, also with everything, also with English classes.
Posteriormente, mi esposo consiguió trabajo y ellos también nos ayudaron a asistir a las dependencias que teníamos que ir para poder obtener el seguro.
So also we got the help to get a job. When we receive the work permit, her husband found a job, and Mosaic helped us to do all the paperwork to be able to work.
Exacto. Posteriormente nos ayudaron a que mi hijo ya entrara a la escuela, mi hijo mayor.
Also, they help us to register to school.
Y ahora que ya tuvimos nuestra audiencia y que ya fuimos aceptados, también le comentamos a ellos y comenzaremos ahora el nuevo proceso.
So we had our hearing and we were accepted, and now it's a new beginning for us. It's another process.
Nuestro proceso comenzó oficialmente en diciembre y a nosotros en mayo ya nos aceptaron, entonces nos han dicho que ha sido un proceso muy rápido por todas las evidencias que habíamos presentado.
We formally initiated our process in December, and we were accepted in our hearing in May. So it was a very quick process due to all the proofs that we managed to gather for our process. So it's been a very, very short process, but very successful for us.
Y pues no tengo nada más que decir, más que gracias. No tengo cómo agradecer todo lo que nos ha apoyado Mosaic.
She doesn't have any words to thank you enough for all the support she has received.
Gracias.
And we have one more testimony here.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Pierre. I come to Canada as refugee from Mexico in 2019. I was lonely and scared and stressed, and I didn't know where to go. I'm thinking about my family back home, Mexico. Mexico is great people, love to visit my country, but I must think in my safety. I had a family in Mexico. I had a wife and 3 kids. I must feed. My children want me to go home. I told them one day we'll be together again. In the meantime, take care. One day we'll be together again. In the meantime, take care of yourself and study every day of my life in Canada. I'm worrying about the safety of my family back home. Here I'm community service man. I want to take to Canada to accepting and keep myself. People here are from different parts of the world, but respect each other cultures. For this, I wanted to give back to the Canadian community, and as I was researching on the looking for a ways to be useful to this community and a thought of the volunteering. Someone in the community told me about the South Vancouver neighborhood house. A friend instructed to the community food navigator about the opportunity to volunteer, was accepted as volunteer in the food house program. I serve food, bag, set up, clean up, delivery, and other things that they need to be done. I meet people every week. I feel like I belong and I'm loved, and my skills are volunteered. I also do English I also took English classes to improve my speaking and writing while writing for my work permit. When I received my work permit, the first person I called was South Vancouver neighborhood staff. It changed my life tremendously, and I found a job very quickly because of my volunteer experience in South Vancouver neighborhood house. Is my reference in every job application. I think currently, and I'm working as delivery person, I have an opportunity to drive different kinds of vehicle, big and small. I like it a lot. Also work part-time in a moving company, which inspired to me that if I have the capacity to be a businessman, I dream to have my own moving company. Of course, I will ask for the support of South Vancouver Neighbor House. In a volunteer practice to my English communication, gain friends, gain skills, and gain my self-esteem. When I started volunteer in South Vancouver Neighbor House, I found community here. I can share my culture, meet with new people from different backgrounds, and most importantly, make a friends in this community. Is socialize, learn, and get involved in my activities. My hopes is to bring my family to safe and dream of day that my family join me here. I will take them to the South Vancouver Neighbor House to see for the celebs to place down support me. Then community that I belong out, I will tell them that is the reason you are here in Canada. Because Canada is the diverse country in educate my children to respect everyone, regardless in their background. I want my children achieve their goals. My older one wants to become a doctor. The older one of my children, she wants to be a doctor. The second one, he wants to be a chef. And the youngest one, interested in the dinosaurs. He knows like 100 different names of the dinosaurs. He's 7 years old. This is my 3 children, and me, 2 daughters and 1 boy. She's Frida, 14. The other one is 10 years, and my boy 7. I got almost 40 years. I don't say 10, but this is the last picture I take with them. I know that my children will have more opportunities here than in my country because of the political situation where they're in, and I would like to in my history, my study, by taking everyone in that South Vancouver neighborhood house, and thanks to BCSIS for providing funds that help support people from another countries, and thanks to AMSSA for giving this opportunity to share my story. Thank you so much, and God bless everybody.
We're so glad. I speak for everyone. We're so glad you're here. It's an amazing story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Excellent. Okay. Now we're going to open the floor for questions, about 20 minutes. Is that a long time? So members of the media and guests that are attending, and also folks joining us on phone, you'll be able to ask a question. Please state your name and the organization you represent, and limit yourself to one question, please, and we'll allow additional questions as time permits. So Minister Kang, please come to the podium.
Thank you, Garrison. Just a reminder to reporters on the phone, just please press *1 to enter the queue. You are limited to one question and one follow-up. Please also remember to take your phone off mute. You are not audible until your name is called. We are going to start with reporters on site. If you have any questions, please come here. Actually, good news don't generate questions, so we don't have any
Good
questions.
news. Very good news.
I think, Garrison, do you want to make your final remarks, or can we just
Sure.
go ahead? Yeah, and
I
then
might have a question for the minister.
okay.
No, I don't. Well, I just want to get your thoughts on what you've heard today, and maybe reflection of the work the government's doing and the investment.
Well, thank you, Garrison, for that question. There's no questions from media, but I love talking about immigration, settlement services, and supporting newcomers, because many of us here either has been one who has been supported or has been one who is supporting someone else. And through my many years of being in public service as a city councilor, and now as a part of the provincial government, I have been hearing many stories of how so many people want to come to Canada, and how our nonprofit organizations who are in the settlement services are overstretched, that they are doing their work through their passion, and that they are holding multiple roles from the different corners of their desk. And if they had 2 desks, they would have 8 corners, but they would never say no. When they have a client in need, they would always say yes, even if they have to work overtime. And through those stories, through those responses, our government wants to ensure that settlement service providers has the tools to be able to do that, and to be able to provide enhanced services, because as Katie has said, in the past year, even though there was a pandemic, we have seen an extraordinary amount of people choosing British Columbia as their new home, either to come here to settle, come here to work, come here as international students, even come here as temporary foreign workers, but eventually falling in love with our beautiful province and wanting to stay here. And during that time, because federal government, they provide services to permanent residences, it is the nonprofit organizations through BCSIS and through AMSSA that are supporting those who choose to be here. So I think this investment, as a result of also hearing the 2 testimonies and the 2 stories, I know that this new investment of $26 million will be totally worth it, and that I know the nonprofit organizations will make each dollar stretch, from providing services pre-arrival to at the airport, to finding a home, to finding education, childcare, being part of the community. I'm so glad that all of you are here to share this good news story with us today. And thank you so much. Please continue the good work that you are all doing.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Garrison.
Excellent, and we'll conclude. And I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for the investment from the provincial government, organizations like AMSSA and the other settlement serving organizations. And our work is so important, and it's nice to see our work is generating this type of investment and notice. And also the testimonies that are just heartwarming. And that's the work we do, folks. Very touching and great work. So if you ever have a bad day, just think about the work we do in the community. So thank you, everyone, for attending, and that concludes our announcement for today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Garrison. Now we are going to hand over Tristan for a group photo. We are going to move the podium, and he's going to coordinate that. Thank you, everyone, for joining.